What if you had invested in MTN this year? What will be your annual rate of return? Yes, that's what we are going to find out in this video. I know most of you use MTN for calls, WhatsApp, for loans, other financial services, but what's MTN? MTN is a telecommunication company dealing different services, network services, financial services, and it's a subsidiary of the MTN Group, Johannesburg, in South Africa. It has over 20 million customers. Our NSSF here in Uganda owns 11.7% of it. So this year, what I could tell you that MTN has paid dividends worth 414 billion UGX, and each dividend per share was 18.5 shillings. For every share you owned, you get 18.5 shillings. Then at the beginning of this year, the share price of MTN was 275 shillings. Currently, as I talk, in November, the share price is 300 shillings. So let's see if what if you had invested at the beginning of this year in MTN, what dividend would you be walking away with? So as from my previous videos, now to calculate that dividends. So let's say you had invested 100k, 1 million, 10 million at the share price in January of 275. So when you get 100k, you divide by 275, you get 360 shares. And when you get 1 million, you divide by 275, you get 3,600 shares. When you get 10 million, you divide by 275, you get 36,000 shares roughly. So here, to get the dividend, since now we have the shares, we multiply times the dividend per share, which is 18.5. So the dividend per share, you get your 300 for someone who invested 100k is having 360 shares times 18.5, which is roughly 6,000 shares. And someone who invested 1 million, they have 3,600 shares times 18.5, which is roughly 60,000 Ghanaian shillings. And for someone who invested 10 million, and someone invested 10 million, they'll be having around 36,000 shares. Times 18.5, they'll be working out with 600,000 Ghanaian shillings. So to get the dividend yield, you get the dividend per share, which is 18.5, divided by the share price. The share price by then was 275. The dividend is 18.5. So 18.5 divided by the 275, you get a dividend yield of 6.7%. So this year, as an MTN investor or shareholder, they enjoyed a dividend yield of 6.7 from the dividends so far we've received. And that is far as with the dividends. Someone that invested 100k, they would enjoy 6,000 Ghana shillings. Someone invested 1 million, they would enjoy 60,000 Ghana shillings. Someone invested 10 million, they would enjoy 600,000 Ghana shillings. That is as far as dividends are concerned. So when you go to capital gains, so someone who had invested 100k in January, because they bought the share price at 175, but currently it's at 300 shillings. So someone that invested 100k, they have 360 shares. 360 shares times the current share price, which is 300. They would get 108,000 Uganda shillings. They'll be making capital gain of 8k. Then someone invested 1 million, they'll be having 3,600 shares times the current share price, which is 300 shillings. Here they'll be getting money, which is 1,080,000 Ghana shillings. They're making capital gain of 80k. Then someone invested 10 million. Here they will be having 36,000 shares times the current share price, which is 300. Here they will be making 10,800,000 Ghana shillings. They'll be making a capital gain of 800,000 Ghana shillings. So far, that will be the capital gain. So we have gotten the dividend, and we have also gotten the capital gain. So with an example of 1 million, to get the annual rate of return, you get the dividend, the capital gain. For someone who had invested 1 million at the beginning of this year, they would have gotten a dividend of 60,000, and they would have gotten a current capital gain of 80,000. When you combine it, you'll be they would have made this year, they would have gotten around 140,000 Ugandan shillings. So we have our total returns. So you divide them by the money you invested. So you invested 1 million. So the 140,000 divided by 1 million, you'll be getting an annual return of 14%. For someone who invested in MTN, as far as this year is concerned, currently they have currently, if they decide to sell their shares, they'll be able to walk out with an annual rate of return of 14%. So as I told, the annual rate of return, this is a profit or loss that you make from your investment uh, in a year, but takes place in percentages. So this is a profit of 14%. So for someone who looking for investments, they can see MTN is this has actually given out a 14% rate of return, as long as by combining their dividends and the capital gains, if they are decided to sell these investments. So they'll be walking away with an annual return of 14%. So this is it. This is for people who are interested to invest in MTN. You can reach out to me. I'll be glad to help you with the step-by-step processes, and come and you grow our wealth slowly but surely. As I always conclude my videos, always endeavor to save, invest, reinvest, and enjoy.